You have no idea who you are or what you can do if you only listen to the opinions of other people, if you only base your results and what you do on what other people think, what other people's feedback is. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out here in life blind and not listen to anybody, not follow any advice, not take any feedback. But what I mean is there's a fine line. If you have ideas, if God is putting things on your heart, you should explore those things. And you should also know that sometimes people are not going to understand and they're going to try to talk you out of it. Think about examples of this would include people who had crazy ideas, entrepreneurial dreams, wanted to do YouTube, whatever, things like that. And they talk to their family about it. And they're like, well, you should really consider getting a real job, or you should really consider this. And then years later, it's like, oh, it worked out for them, right? But imagine if they had listened to those people who were caring and just wanting them to be realistic because they didn't want them to suffer in the long run. So kind of like that. If you have people in your life that don't necessarily understand what you're doing and they're trying to talk you out of it, I mean, take what they're saying, but then don't lean on it and act on it if you know that you're supposed to be doing something else. Now, on the other hand, if what you're doing is harmful to yourself and they're just offering correction, we're not talking about that. I'm just mentioning instances of you have this idea in your head, you have this vision of something that God has given you, you have this strong urge to lean towards something and you can't really explain why, but people are telling you that it's not a good idea. You may not need to do it. They're talking you out of it. Before you abandon that thing and listen to those people, I would say that you need to sit with it for a while, ask God for some clarification and seek him to see if that's the direction that you need to go in. Because although people sometimes have our best of intentions, they don't always know the full story of what's going on. They don't always have a full understanding or a full grasp on it. And oftentimes they are saying the things that they say to be caring and to be helpful, but that doesn't mean that you need to take it. And I think that that's really beneficial for adults because sometimes we can lean so much on support. We want to be approved of. We want to be, we want to make sure that people are in agreement with what we're doing. And so if you say something to somebody and they're like, oh, well, I don't think you should do that. I think that's a terrible idea. You're more likely to go with what that person said than your own set of thoughts. And I just think that we need to be very careful with that because sometimes even if they have good intentions, it's still not the right advice for you. So long story short, make sure that you're seeking God on the decisions that you make and not leaning too much on other people's opinions.